Hello everyone and welcome to Manor Lords, a very promising city builder simulation strategy medieval whatever you want it. It has many names, it's still very early access, it's still very promising as is the case with most of early access games. But this game has something unique, like the mood and the feeling of everything. Like I played it at once at 1 a.m. and I would just watch the villages like this go about their day because it feels so alive and realistic. But anyway, let's not go too much with the quirky details. And the purpose of this series is for me to do an introduction slash kind of review here and there. I'm gonna tell what I like and I don't like, but I'm gonna teach you because I've played for so much, for so long, a few hours, and I can teach you at least about the first steps. So, without further ado, let's get going. If you want to have an easy time, and maybe you should because it's an early access game, I mean, you can still abuse it easily and you can still have a hard time. Just as soon as you enter the game, if it's an optional step, go on fertility. So go on the building menu, construction, C, and then go on the fertility because most of the fields are like whack. And if you want, you can restart the map, yada 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 yada, until they set you on a random fertile soil, because you can get on any of those at any point when you start the game, and they each have their own pluses and minuses. For example, those with the crowns have an extra of this research, like rich deposit, but some of them don't have good fertility. So maybe as a first starting location, you'd like something with fertility, and that's what I'm doing. So now that we got that out of the way, let's start with the initial bits. So as you can see, we have a bunch of homeless people. We have the supplies here. We have an ox on a hitching post, and this guy is super important. And I kind of like this as kind of is wacky a bit because you depended on it so much, but it's also kind of cool. So what we want to do is, I don't want to cover this deposit. I mean, it's quite small, so it's gonna get used up pretty quickly. But we don't want to go too far. I mean, we can. There's not that much of a deal. We can. I want to keep close to the initial starting spot, and I'm gonna. This is one of the coolest features. Like the way roads, you can build roads in this game, is so good. So without going further into details, what we want to do first, at least that's what I do, is get people some houses, and the housing aspect in this game is super cool. So basically you can go along any distance or shape of the road, and you can do something like this, and it will mold on it, and then you have to put, so in total you have to put 4 points, and this is what I'm gonna do. So, and now we have this, right? So this means we have 3 houses, each of them with a backyard that can be used for something else. This spot here, and this is an extension. It means 2 families can live on this spot if you upgrade the house, and you can increase or decrease the numbers of plot provisions. So now that I set it to 2, now there's 2, but this one has also an extension. So it's gonna be 2 houses, but one of them is, both of them actually are gonna have an extension. So I'm gonna go with that. At least that's how I like. I don't know if this is the most efficient way of going about it, but that's how I like to go about it. Usually 2 houses. Okay, one gripe with the game that I have so far is they don't mention that everything that you're gonna build uses wood, and it's limited, and you even need wood for the building that gets wood. So don't get too excited in building houses, because first, actually, you need a logger camp. I mean, you can start building them both, but be careful not to use the starting 8 logs. So I'm gonna use 2 and 2 here, and another 2 for that, and then we can get our people going. So the way this works is you have families, and each family gets a job. So because there's no jobs right now, because we don't have anything, everyone is assigned to building, and as you can see, they go around and build houses all together because they're all assigned in buildings. But as soon as we're gonna build the logging camp, I'm gonna assign 1 family. So we have 1 less builder family, but we have a family that's basically getting us logs. Also, disclaimer, if you're seeing some stuff you haven't seen when you played, recently the pre-alpha, pre-launch, pre-something, early access, like everything there is here, has launched, and I'm playing on the branch that has some improvements based on the feedback and some additions and some other features. So check that out if you want to get them too, or maybe by the time you watch this video, that's gonna be already released. So now we add one family here, and they're gonna automatically start cutting timber down and getting us some lumber. We now only have enough for now, because they're gonna move pretty fast. We only have enough material for a house, which is what I'm gonna do. And what I like to do with this game, because it has such a cool building mechanic of try and get the houses to be as organic as possible, so to say. So here we're gonna be able to fit 2 more families because of the extension, and I mean the backyard doesn't influence it, but the extension. And I only built one because we have 2 logs. Now another shitty thing is, in the beginning you're gonna see the hitching post get the supplies that you have here to the lumber place, because that's where they are getting stored in the beginning. So you don't really you'll have to wait a bit in the beginning. Another cool thing is, as you remember the extension that I just mentioned, instead of us having to build another house to feed the other 2 families, we can just expand the living place and 2 families will live on here. We don't have enough wood to extend both to ensure the other family also has a place, but we don't need to build 5 houses for 5 people, because we can extend the ones that are already here. So that's a neat strategy for saving some space and having the village more compact, because, you know, there's no cars, there's no horses for them to ride around too long. So it's in your best interest to have everyone as close together to the workplaces and to their amenities and all that stuff. Okay, now that we have houses for everyone, the next things you want to do is to get a storehouse and a granary, because just as I was saying, the rain is starting and our supplies are gonna get deteriorated by rain, which makes sense. So as soon as we have 2 logs for the granary also, we're gonna start building it. If you're wondering why I built the lumber logging camp here, is because we have the animals and the berries here, and I haven't tested it, but I think they get less or destroyed, or the animals migrate or something if you build them too close. So yeah, we want them to log around here and clear some space for the village, but we don't want them to do anything here. And speaking of those 2 resources, in the gathering tab we have the forager hut and the hunter camp, which we're building now, and we're gonna need to assign to families, because if you hover over here, we only have 2 months left of food, and we need to harvest the berries as soon as possible because they're seasonal and they're gonna go away either way if we harvest them or not. And the earlier we harvest them, the more we have. And here in the hunter's camp, you set the limit to the population of animals to be hunted. So when that reaches 10, they'll stop hunting and they're gonna give them time to reproduce. So you don't hunt them to extinction. Okay, so family requests stalls. This is one of the neat features I really like. And you can also make it look super organic and nice. And what I'm gonna do, because I like this kind of setup, I'm gonna make... Okay, so this might be a bit of an overkill for the beginning, but I like to make them in this kind of triangle. So then you go to logistics. No, actually. You go to residential and you go to marketplace and you can select an area, and that area establishes how many stalls you have for each family to have stalls around and sell their stuff. And you can see the placement, how the stalls will look. I kind of like it maybe this way because it's more aerated, so to say. So we're gonna go with this. And now families that produce something, for example, the family that produces is on the hunting camp, they can sell the meat and the hides to the other people, which is not really selling, it's bartering, because they're getting something in return and yada yada. Also, we need families on granary and storehouse, so they can take stuff around and store them. And as you can see, the more buildings you have around a road, the girthier it gets. So that's also a nice way of things evolving. Okay, so now that we have the marketplace and somebody is selling, actually bartering firewood and food, because everyone here is living in a communist type of thing. There's no coin between the villages. We can only trade with people outside. But here everyone gets a bit of everything, because obviously it's in everyone's best interest that everyone survives and everyone contributes to this beautiful village. So another thing you can do to help boost this thing is add the backyard, so to say. Yeah, backyard extension. So vegetables are very good if you have a really large backyard, because the bigger it is, as it says, yields depend on the plot size. And we don't have that big of a backyard here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go with the chicken coop so we get some eggs. Right now things are gonna go a bit slower because we have quite a few projects going around and we only have one builder family. So keep that in mind, but we do need to build new places and upgrade them so new people move in and we can make the most out of our first year. We do need more approval for people to join our village, because we do have the places for them to leave, but you need to have high approval for people to move in. And we only have fuel for 2 months. And we don't have enough families to put them on the food production and everything. So hopefully in the coming months, families will move in. So you do need people in advance usually to expand and stuff. Okay, so a new family moved in and we can finally have one builder family and a family that builds, makes firewood. So that's nice. So as you can see, I have 0 builder families right now because I assigned another family to the hunting camp. So they get leather, which satisfies the clothing demand of the villages, which in turn will get us more families sooner. So you have to think about what you need and where you need the families in order to make the most of it. Yeah, with all that being said, I hope this was useful. At this point, your village should have enough workers for everyone. Shouldn't be too far apart, shouldn't be too crowded. You have enough food to be self-sustainable, you have enough fuel, and with this population, yeah, you can only base yourself on hunting, on chicken coops, and berries. So I guess this is it. Thanks for watching so far. This is just a tutorial for the first steps, and I'll be continuing with the preparation for the next coming year, and the Barons attack, and the Bandits attack, and all that. Hi, good sir. And I'll just make them more compact rather than make a longer one with more details. So if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments on anything I did wrong or you want to see, or any completion of information that I shared here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.